behind the wheel and doing Whippits.
We are pursuing.
It's a nitrous oxide fuel rampage in Seattle as the fleeing driver taunted police.
When you see behavior like this, it's really troubling.
A lunchtime heist at a West Seattle jewelry store.
I don't think anybody was expecting something like that to happen just in the middle of their workday.
We're learning what the thieves got away with, totaling $2 million. The scene of a murder on a family's doorstep.
I watched my brother take his last breath in front of me.
How the victim's loved ones hope to unmask the killer. Tonight in the Spotlight. Bodycam video from Kent Police shows officers arresting Zachary McCreary on August 6th. The Tacoma man was on his lunch break in Fife when he was taken into custody. Officers located a gun in his front pocket. They booked him into the King County Jail for 3 counts of attempting to elude a pursuing police vehicle, reckless driving, and 2 counts of hit and run. The 38-year-old's capture brought an end to more than 2 weeks of pure chaos on the roads. Seattle police say he even offered a whippet to a firefighter before ramming their fire truck with his car when he refused. Well, good evening and welcome to the Spotlight. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm David Rose. Zachary McCreary appeared in court this week where he pleaded not guilty. You can decide for yourself if that's true after watching video of 2 police pursuits caught on camera.
Just trying to get out.
Dashcam video from Seattle police from August 3rd shows the lengths detectives say Zachary McCreary was willing to go to avoid being arrested.
Lincoln 32, we're behind it now, going northbound. Second unit, wanted advice speeds, we are pursuing.
A hand comes out the window. Was he warning the officer to call it off or taunting him to pull up beside him? He then swerves and brake checks them to keep the patrol vehicles from boxing him in. Seconds later, the hand reappears, this time wagging a finger like, no, no, no. Despite the sheer brazenness, the officers don't take the bait.
He was also seen using whippets. He's hit multiple vehicles up and down the road.
They know he's wanted for ramming a fire engine with his vehicle after offering a whippet to a firefighter. Documented effects of inhaling a whippet include hallucinations, loss of consciousness, and a feeling of euphoria.
Copy. Anybody have any spike strips or any plans for any pit authorized vehicles?
Lincoln 32, we're approaching 175th. He's going to hit some traffic.
As the pursuit continues, he starts to pick up speed.
Yeah, we're going southbound 170th in Aurora. We're going 70 miles per hour.
He continues to blow through intersections. To avoid endangering the public, they call off the pursuit.
Speeds are up to about 85. All right, let's just terminate.
When you see behavior like this, it's really troubling.
Prosecutors say he also drove recklessly in Kent on June 24th. He was seen speeding through the traffic lights, weaving in and out of cars, and endangering countless other drivers.
What police and prosecutors can't figure out is the reason for this.
In court, prosecutors charged him with 6 felony counts.
Your Honor, we do acknowledge receipt of the information. I waive formal reading. Ask the court to enter pleas of not guilty.
Judge Brian McDonald maintained McCreary's bail at $100,000. And should he post it?
Do not drive without valid license or insurance.
Prosecutors argue he's a flight risk after eluding police on 3 separate dates. Court documents show McCreary works for a freight forwarding company in Fife. That's where Kent police found the silver Honda with the rear bumper taped on. Turns out he rented it after reporting to police that his own car was stolen. Inside, detectives recovered a purple Whippet balloon from the center console. After his arrest, detectives say McCreary invoked his right to remain silent.
So right now you're under arrest for 3 counts of eluding police.
Well, despite the video that police say shows him flaunting his freedom and putting other drivers in danger, McCreary has only 1 criminal conviction for drug possession in 2015. He has no warrant history. He does have a separate pending case for obstruction, and he's facing a misdemeanor charge for carrying a concealed pistol without a license. Well, it's now been 6 months since someone shot and killed 21-year-old Hamzi Elmi. He was ambushed by a masked gunman right outside his family's home in Federal Way. His loved ones are hoping an increased reward will help police find his killer. The Spotlight's Shira Matsuzawa spoke with Hamzi's sister, who was there the night of the murder.
My brother Hamzi wasn't just a headline. He was my best friend, my protector, and the heart of our family. And on February 1st, that was taken from us in a senseless act of violence.
Talking about her brother Hamsi Elmi for the first time publicly, Hannah Elmi says the last 6 months have been extremely difficult. She says she was there the night someone shot and killed her brother. She heard the gunshots. She heard her brother's voice. And
I watched my brother take his last breath in front of me.
Hannah shared this photo from their Ring doorbell camera.
Someone came behind him on a ski mask, fully masked individual, and shot him 7 times on the chest in front of our home as he was trying to get inside the house from work. I was so shocked. I froze. I was calling 911. I couldn't believe what I was looking at. My brother bleeding out to death in front of me, and bullets coming through.
Hamsi's family now hoping an $11,000 reward will help lead to the answers they've been waiting for. Until then, she keeps the happier times like these close to her heart.
Hamsi deserves justice.
For the Spotlight, I'm Shira Matsuzawa.
So once again, this murder took place a little before midnight on February 1st at the family's home on 9th Avenue South near Easter Lake. If you know who's responsible or you have any information that could help Federal Way Police make an arrest, you'll get an $11,000 cash reward, and you will never have to give your name. Submit an anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers. You can call 1-800-222-TIPS or use the P3 Tips app on your phone. The family of a 15-year-old boy shot and killed near Auburn has a message for anyone who saw him the day he was murdered. Please share what you know. 15-year-old Giovanni Brown was found lying on the ground near the Brookside Village Apartments in unincorporated Auburn on July 18th of last year. Deputies tried to save him, but he died from multiple gunshot wounds. King County Major Crimes detectives say there are no suspects and no known motive. Giovanni's family sent me this statement saying he had the type of aura that lit up his surroundings, writing, "Giovanni was very funny, had such a charming, charismatic personality around people and his family. They say he excelled at math in school and had a passion for sports and music," adding Giovanni's energy kept his friends and teachers with laughs and smiles on their faces throughout the day. If you have any information about Giovanni Brown's murder near Auburn, please submit a tip to Crime Stoppers, and again, you will remain anonymous. More than 2 years after a shocking kidnapping case in Kent, the suspect still has not been caught. Detectives are hoping you can identify this man. Back on March 1st, 2023, a mother was loading her 4 kids into their car, and her teenage daughter was buckling her 2-year-old twin siblings into their car seats. A doorbell camera captured the moment a suspect ran up and jumped into the driver's seat and then sped off, ejecting one of the toddlers onto the ground. The 2-year-old who was thrown from the car was hurt, but thankfully, the injuries were not severe. The other toddler and his 8-year-old sister were still in the car as the man drove away, but he dropped them off a few neighborhoods away. Kent police are hoping these clear images of the suspect will lead to an arrest. If you think you recognize him, you can send a tip to Kent Police at the email on your screen or call their tip line, 253-856-5808. Tonight, Everett police are hoping you can identify this suspect in an assault case. Back on August 1st, police say he walked into a business on East Casino Road and attacked 2 employees. One of the victims had to be hospitalized. There's no word yet on what led up to that assault. Police say he was driving what appears to be a 2020 silver or gray Honda Passport. If you see the suspect, do not approach him. Call 911. If you know his name or have any information on the case, you can contact Crime Stoppers or the Everett Police Tip Line at 425-257-8450. King County Sheriff's deputies are trying to ID a man accused of stealing landscaping equipment from a hardworking family. Investigators say the owner of a yard care business was working with his wife and son in a neighborhood near Dottie Harper Park when that thief stole equipment out of their truck bed. Suspect described as a white or light-skinned Hispanic man with light facial hair around his chin, and he appears to have tattoos on his left forearm. He made off with a commercial hedge trimmer and a weed eater. If you have any information that can help, contact Crime Stoppers. A deadly hit and run in Kitsap County has gone unsolved for more than a year and a half. Tonight, the victim's family has increased the reward in this case. Back on December 9th, 2023, the body of Robert Rathvon was found just outside of Paulsvo along the northbound exit ramp of Finn Hill Road to Highway 3. Investigators don't know how he ended up along that off-ramp, but believe he may have gotten lost while walking back to his hotel. He had just finished a 7-day rotation working as a life flight pilot. We spoke with Robert's mother back in December as she marked 1 year since her son's death and pleaded for the person responsible to come forward.
Whoever was involved in the situation must be feeling angst and guilt. And I would imagine that they would want to come forward. So it's not just healing on our parts. I think it's also healing on their parts.
Detectives believe Robert died sometime between midnight and 6 a.m. on December 9th, 2023. The vehicle that hit and killed Robert likely had considerable damage. Robert's family has increased the cash reward for a tip to solve this case to a total of $50,000 cash. For any information that leads to an arrest and charges for the driver responsible, submit an anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers of Puget Sound. You can do that through the P3 Tips app or call 1-800-222-TIPS. Drug-addicted parents exposing their small children to fentanyl. It's a crisis that's fueling concerns with Washington's child welfare system. Straight ahead, we hear from the head watchdog of DCYF. For me, it was the disappearance of little Oakley Carlson in Grace Harbor County after the state returned custody of her to drug-addicted parents and she disappeared without a trace. That put a critical issue on my radar. Is the state failing our kids by keeping endangered children with their fentanyl-using or abusive parents instead of removing them from the home? Devastating new numbers show 45 children died or almost died from April to June this year. That followed an increase in the first quarter of 47 fatalities or near fatalities. That distressing report was presented by Patrick Dowd, the director of the Office of the Family and Children's Ombuds, to the Washington State Department of Youth and Families Oversight Board. So you sounded the alarm, and you had said that normally you would wait till the end of the year, but these numbers were troubling to you. You wanted the board to know about this. What do you hope the Oversight Board does with this information?
Well, the Oversight Board is set up to kind of receive information from the Department of Children, Youth, and Families to help ensure that various outcome measures are met, including child health, safety, and welfare. So I think it's an opportunity to look at what are the issues that are leading to these critical incidents. What are the challenges that as a community we're facing, circumstances such as the fentanyl crisis that is ongoing and that has an adverse impact, obviously, on children, and particularly young children. And then how do we respond as a community and also within our child welfare system to prevent these critical incidents and to better strengthen families?
So critics and some parents point to the Keeping Families Together Act as putting our most vulnerable kids at risk. In homes where parents are using drugs, you just mentioned fentanyl, it's a crisis in our state right now. Do you believe that legislation is placing children at greater risk than before?
So one thing that we see, so that the Keeping Families Together Act went into effect in 2023. And when we look back at the number of child fatalities or the near fatalities, we really saw a jump between like 2021 and then into 2023. So that increase of child fatalities related to abuse or neglect, we saw that increase before the Keeping Families Together Act went into effect. I think it is more of an indication of the impact of the fentanyl crisis. Now, those are, they're not necessarily completely separate concepts. On one hand, we have a fentanyl crisis that is endangering children, and then we also had state law that went into effect in 2023 that raised the legal standard for removing a child from a parent's care. I don't think it's as simple as saying the change in the law directly led to an increase in child fatalities or near fatalities.
I guess let me just ask, you've been doing this for a long time. Do you think the current system is failing at its most basic duty to keep the kids alive?
Well, there are certainly limitations to any child welfare system's authority to intervene with a family. And so there's always going to be the tension between protecting the privacy of the family and the privacy of the parents, and preventing families from unwarranted intrusion by a state agency. And then on the other hand, making sure that the child welfare system has enough authority to, when a child is at an imminent risk of physical harm, is able to identify those cases and take action involving the court and removing the child from those situations. So we will never have a child welfare system that can prevent all child abuse and neglect. Our report also kind of identified the number of CPS intakes that are screened in for investigation. And then of those cases, the ones where the family receives services, and then of those situations where children are actually removed from the home. And what we don't have is we don't have an algorithm to go in and identify, this is the child that if we don't remove is going to suffer a critical incident of abuse or neglect. And then on the other hand, you have situations where this is suboptimal. We have parents that are struggling with poverty situations, mental health issues, substance use disorder. But if there's not enough a factual basis to remove the child, the department cannot legally intervene.
Well, it is heartbreaking every time we hear about one of these kids who dies, whether from abuse or from fentanyl. Patrick Dowd, thank you so much for explaining all of the reporting. We appreciate your time today.
Thank you very much.
Up next in the spotlight, a pair of thieves make their move right in front of a Tesla's camera system. See how they worked in tandem to steal a man's $10,000 bike. An anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers of Tacoma Pierce County led to the arrest of a prolific theft suspect who was on the run for more than a year. Tacoma police arrested 40-year-old Nick Laskavtsov on August 9th. He had multiple felony warrants for his arrest. Faircrest police say he stole a $100,000 tractor from a golf course last year after he advertised it for sale in a post called Let's Make a Deal. He was also wanted for burglary and theft from a housing development. And troopers say he fled from them at a high rate of speed, putting the public in danger. His bail was set at $129,000. Prosecutors filed several new charges following his arrest, including motor vehicle theft, just 2 days before he was caught. Investigators say he stole a maintenance truck from an assisted living facility in Gig Harbor. Well, surveillance video captured a $2 million heist at a jewelry store in West Seattle. Back on August 14th, in broad daylight, 4 masked suspects smashed through the front door of Menashe & Sons on California Avenue. While one of the suspects threatened the workers, the other 3 broke the glass display counters and loaded jewelry into their bags. The robbery lasted less than 90 seconds. The thieves took off with diamonds, Rolex watches, and an emerald necklace. As those thieves busted through the front door, several employees escaped out the back. They ran to a nearby gym for help. The gym manager says they locked their doors until police arrived.
I was about to start a class. We were like gearing up, we were ready to go, and then people come in yelling. It was like 11:50 some a.m. So I don't think anybody was expecting something like that to happen just in the middle of their workday.
By coincidence, a public safety meeting was scheduled that same day in West Seattle, and SPD Chief Sean Barnes spoke about the robbery.
I had an opportunity to talk with the business owners and reassure them that we're going to do everything in our power to bring these people to justice.
The family-run business reopened days after the heist. The co-owner says he's thankful for all the support they've received from the community.
Being back open feels really good to serve the community and to serve all of our great customers. They've been so arms open with flowers, with food, with cards, bringing things to our homes, to the store. You know, that is really why we love this community so much and why we really love all the customers that we have in and out of Seattle.
Well, no arrests have been made in the case. If you have any information on who these suspects are, please contact Seattle Police or Crime Stoppers. An avid mountain biker says he's not going to let a couple of thieves steal his serenity, but he wants them stopped before they take someone else's joy. Fortunately, the theft of his Yeti mountain bike was caught on camera. Video from Tim Kayward's Tesla shows the couple who worked as a team. When he stopped to get a sandwich in Preston off I-90, they went to work. The female suspect put down the back seats of their black Ford Escape to make room for Tim's bike. And then her partner in crime approached Tim's Tesla with the $10,000 bike on the back.
He just whipped open that bike rack like he'd done it before, pulled off the front wheel, grabbed my bike, grabbed the front wheel, and shoved, the bike in the back. You had to pull the front wheel off so it would fit. So, yeah, he did everything like it was choreographed.
Well, thanks to his car surveillance cameras, Tim got some great still shots of the suspects. King County Sheriff's deputies responded and are asking for the public's help to identify and locate them. The male suspect has 2 tattoos on his left forearm that you can clearly see as he was stealing the bike. Tim says he was parked in the back out of sight. He wonders if the couple followed him from somewhere. He's offering a $1,000 reward in addition to the Crime Stoppers reward to whoever can identify them, and he's remaining philosophical.
The universe has a way of balancing out. I believe that. And they may not be caught tomorrow or the next day, but eventually these guys are going to run into somebody that is not going to let them get away. And, that'll be that, the universe righting itself.
Well, if you can identify this couple or tell deputies where to find them, contact Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS or call the King County Sheriff's Office. Well, that's going to do it for tonight. Until next week, I'm David Rose. Please stay safe.